questions have been chosen as just to check that you are able to do the mathematical questions. So there's ones on the diversity index and standard deviation. So this question is, part of the seashore form a very hostile environment for living organisms. Twice each day, the incoming and outgoing tides alternatively cover the organisms on the seashore with water and then leave them exposed. The force of the wave could also dislodge any organism that were not firmly attached. The diagram shows a section through the rocky shore. Two sites were studied. Site A was on the upper shore and Site B was on the lower shore. The table shows the seaweeds that were found growing at Site A and B. Using the formula, calculate the index of diversity for the seaweed growing at Site A. Show your working. Now this question has 2 marks, so 1 will be for the right answer and 1 will be for the workings. To work this out, you need to first of all know the total number of organisms of all species. So you add up the number of species in this column. So 2 plus 10 plus 4 plus 6 is 22. Now the first part of your equation, so that is n, capital N. N equals 22. So the first part is looking for 22 times 22 minus 1, 21. Then for underneath, it's looking for the sum of the total number of organisms of a particular species times total number of organisms of a particular species minus 1. So it will be 2 times 1 plus 10 times 9 plus 4 times 3 plus 6 times 5. Looks going off the end of the page there. So 22 times 21, 4, 6, 2, and then 2 times 1 is 2, plus 90, plus 12, plus 30, which equals 4, 6, 2 divided by 1, 3, 4. 4, 6, 2 divided by 1, 3, 4 equals 3.44776,119. So I'm going to do it to 2 decimal places, 4.45, because I'll round it up. And that is the correct answer. You can have 3.45, 3.44 or 3.4, and that's how you get that correct answer. The next question that often follows an index diversity question is, give one advantage of calculating the index of diversity rather than just recording the number of species present. Well, the number of species present doesn't take into account the number of individuals present, so the abundance, the population size, the number, as well as the number of species. So calculating the index of diversity gives you more information about that population. And then another typical graph question. Availability of water is one abiotic factor which determines the distribution of seaweed. The graph shows loss in mass due to water evaporation for 2 of the seaweed species. The 2 seaweeds belong to the same genus, but one was found only on the upper shore and the other only on the lower shore. Explain the results shown in the graph to relate to distribution of these 2 seaweeds on the seashore. Fucus spiralis is found at the upper shore, which is shown in the first table. It loses less water, and it loses water less rapidly. It loses less mass. This is because it's better adapted to survive where it's exposed longer to dry conditions. Water conservation is necessary for metabolism. The species is therefore at the upper shore to avoid competition with Fucus serratus. Therefore, if they're at separate parts on the shore, they won't be competing for light, substratum, space, carbon dioxide, etc. So this question is an explain question, not a describe question. This question again is a diversity index question. So question 2, lacewings are insects that feed on aphids and mites, which are crop pests. The number of 6 species of lacewings A to F were counted on a sample of apple and strawberry crops. The results are shown in the table. Calculate the index diversity for lacewing species in the apple crop and write the figure in the table. Show your working. So again, you need to work out capital N, which is the total number of all organisms in the species, and times it by capital N minus 1. Then you are looking for the sum of, so that's that symbol there, the sort of E looking symbol, that wasn't very well circled. Try again. There we go. So that means the sum of the E or times N, which is the total number of organisms of each species, times N, little n, minus 1. So the capital N will be the sum of all of the adults on the apple. So it's 10 plus 1 plus 1, 19, 20. So on the top you will have 20 times n minus 1, which is 19, over the sum of n, all of the n's minus 1. So the first one will be 10, so that's from there, times 9, which is n minus 1, plus 1, times 0, because 1 minus 1, it will be 0, plus 1 times 0, plus 7 times 6, plus 0 times 0 minus 1 is minus 1, plus 1 times 0. Of course, anything times 0 will give you 0 equals. So 10 times 9 is 90, plus 42 equals 132. So now you've got 20 times 19, which is 380, divided by 132, which gives you 2.87878788, which if we round it to 2 decimal places is 2.87, which is the correct answer. And remember, 1 is for the correct answer and 1 is for the correct working out.